Hey guys, today we'll be talking about relative pronouns, and actually this is just an introduction because it's a very broad topic. So let's have a look at some basics of relative pronouns. Hey there, today we'll be talking about relative pronouns. They are used to connect a relative clause to the main clause in the sentence. Well, this is a broad topic, so we'll continue our discussion of them in a couple of following videos. Today we'll be just talking about the basics. Actually, there are two types of relative clauses: restrictive clauses and non-restrictive clauses. Restrictive clauses are clauses that we use to clarify the antecedent. They give us some essential information about it and as such are indispensable in the sentence. Here's an example. I know a man who can speak this language. Without the information delivered by the relative clause, this sentence wouldn't make sense. Now, non-restrictive clauses are clauses that give us some additional information that is not necessary for the sentence to make sense. They are often separated by commas from the rest of the sentence. Here's an example. The tall building on Green Street, which you told me about, is still not finished. Here, the relative clause gives us some information which is not essential for the sentence. If we removed it, we would still have a complete sentence. The tall building on Green Street is still not finished. Relative pronouns may function as the subject, object, or possessive determiner. Here you can see it as the subject. The man who is laughing all the time can speak many languages. Here, the relative pronoun functions as the object. The building which you told me about is going to do great. And here it's used as a possessive determiner. The man whose name I always forget is very famous in his country. There are a couple relative pronouns that are used a lot and some more that are used a little less frequently. Let's have a look at the former first. Here belong that, which, who, whom, and whose. The less commonly used pronouns include where, when, whatever, whatsoever, whoever, whosoever, whomever, whomsoever, whichever, whichsoever, wherever, and wheresoever. Now, the ones with so, whosoever, whomsoever, whichsoever, wheresoever, whatsoever, are considered obsolete. You may come across them in other formal or literary texts. And now let's have a look at some examples with pronouns that function as the subject, object, or possessive determiner. Relative pronouns functioning as the subject. So here are some examples with pronouns that function as the subject. The car that broke down was new. The driver who was driving my car on that day almost died in a crash. I hadn't insured the car, which made my wife furious. I want to buy a car that never breaks. The accident wasn't the driver's fault. Whoever did it will be punished. Here are some examples of pronouns which function as the object. I want to buy the building that you showed me. The criminal whom they just arrested was going to work here. Whatever you heard, it can be true. You can marry whoever you want, or you can marry whomever you want. There are still some free office rooms. Take whichever you need. And finally, some examples with relative pronouns that function as the possessive determiner. Actually, the only pronoun that can function as a possessive determiner is whose. Have a look. The workers whose salaries hadn't been raised went on strike. Do you know the girl whose dog bit my nephew? She married a man whose daughter is her age. As mentioned before, there's much more to relative pronouns than has been covered here, so stay tuned. In the following videos, we're talking about the following: substituting relative pronouns, restrictive versus non-restrictive relative clauses, omitting relative pronouns, relative pronouns as objects of prepositions, when and where used as relative pronouns. Okay, that's it for this video. If you like it, a thumbs up would be great. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos. If you want to leave a comment or ask a question, you're welcome to do so. Thanks for watching.